about it. The Independent Fiscal Commission. Well, after our economic travails around 2011-12, you will recall we as in Jamaicans fashioned the Economic Program Oversight Committee comprising stakeholders from different sectors of the society. And that was largely mandated to watch and scrutinize how governments were managing our fiscal affairs, how they were spending, their priorities, so that we would not get back to the place we were coming from, where governments have been fiscally irresponsible and misled the Jamaican people in terms of their economic decision-making. An epoch ran its course and it was replaced largely under the leadership of the former Finance Minister, Dr. Nigel Clark, by the Independent Fiscal Commission. That is the body now set up by law to tell you, we, the members of the public, how our government is managing our fiscal affairs. Are they being responsible? Are they being prudent? What? And I start with that because it's a new institution. It is very important for us going forward, because never again we must allow any administration, any finance minister, any prime minister run with it like Omar and PJ did and say we'll fix the problem later. Never again. And that's the duty of the Independent Fiscal Commission, to look at the numbers. They have the technical expertise to do the analysis and to say, Jamaicans, what they're doing is reckless, it's dangerous. We have done the work, we've given you the information, you now need to deal with them. We didn't have that when Omar run with it. Yeah? So, yesterday, the Independent Fiscal Commission issued a report. And in that report, it warned of potential shortfalls in government revenues and capital spending. It also warned that this could have a material impact on meeting certain budgeted targets. Yes? It also identified how the economy was doing, what were the advances being made. Yeah? Here's Siobhan Campbell's report on that.
The Independent Fiscal Commission, IFC, is the body now tasked with ensuring that the government remains in line with the country's fiscal rules. It replaced the Economic Program Oversight Committee, EPOC. In its latest statement on fiscal performance, the IFC flagged a $14 billion tax shortfall at the end of the last fiscal year, which has overstated the revenue base for 2025-2026. The Commission cautioned that the government may need additional revenues to meet the budgeted targets. At the same time, capital spending across the specified public sector was only $20 billion in the April to June quarter, compared to a budgeted target of $40 billion. The IFC said the under-execution of infrastructure projects could dampen Jamaica's economic growth prospects. Still, the report highlighted several positive developments. Inflation fell to 3.8% in June 2025, which was below the Bank of Jamaica's target range, while unemployment dropped to a record low of 3.3% in April. The country also benefited from an 8% boost to its nominal GDP after the Statistical Institute of Jamaica adopted a new system of national accounts. That revision pushed Jamaica's debt to GDP ratio down to 62.4%, placing the country on track to achieve its legislated 60% debt target 2 years ahead of schedule. The IFC praised progress on reducing informality through digitization and strengthening the public investment management system, but it noted gaps in public sector wage negotiations and compliance with reporting obligations. The Commission also noted that since the report's preparation, macroeconomic conditions have continued to improve, with GDP expanding by 1.6% in the June quarter and inflation falling to 1.2% in August. It's the lowest in nearly 6 decades. It's also noted unemployment held steady at 3.3% in July. The IFC said it will present a deeper assessment of fiscal performance when the government tables its interim fiscal policy paper later in October. Siobhan Campbell for Nationwide News.
Thank you, Siobhan. Now, in other news now, word came yesterday afternoon that the attempt to really undermine and to cast doubt on the outcome of the election in the Prime Minister's constituency of West Central St. Andrew by the People's National Party, that attempt has fizzled. It has failed. This after the Constituted Authority refused a request the losing PNP candidate Paul Buchanan Mr. Buchanan had submitted an application to the Constituted Authority asking them to overturn the result of the elections in West Central St. Andrew. Since then, he has insisted that he was the true winner of the seat. You know, well, under Jamaican election law, the Constituted Authority is authorized to halt or void elections, given the evidence presented to it. Who constitutes the membership of the authority? The 4 independent commissioners of the Electoral Commission of Jamaica and 2 other persons, including a retired judge and a member of the Privy Council. Well, yesterday they made their decision known that what Buchanan and the PNP have been alleging amounted to nothing. Here's Donna Thomas's report on it.
On September 16, Buchanan filed an application with the Constituted Authority seeking to void the election result in the seat that's been represented by the Prime Minister since 1997. The application cites a number of alleged irregularities and breaches in the conduct of the election. In the final count, Dr. Holness tallied 7,090 votes to Buchanan's 4,980. But during a podcast interview, Buchanan falsely insisted that he was the clear winner in West Central St. Andrew.
I believe in my heart I won the election and I won it very big. There are 33,000 voters in that constituency. We have 3 divisions, 8,000 in the civil right division, smallest. We have 11,000 in Olympic, which is Mr. Holness's strong area. And there is Mullines, which has 13,400, by far the largest. We have never lost it, not since adult suffrage. Andrew knew that if Mullines came out, the election was lost, no matter what he did down at Olympic.
Mm-hmm. On Wednesday, the Constituted Authority set the record straight. The election result will stand. In a statement on Wednesday, the Electoral Commission of Jamaica, ECJ, says Buchanan's request to overturn the result was denied. According to the Commission, Buchanan relied on Section 37 of the Election Petition Act to support his request. In that section, it's noted that a request can be considered in the event of an upsurge in violence or any irregularity during election day in one or more polling stations or polling divisions or in any electoral division or constituency. The ECJ says Buchanan submitted several affidavits from himself and others in support of his request. But the Electoral Authority says after careful consideration of the affidavits and the relevant case law, the Constituted Authority found that the evidence presented did not satisfy the standard contemplated by the wording of the law. As such, the Constituted Authority refused Buchanan's request. The ECJ says it informed the PNP caretaker of the authority's decision in writing on Tuesday. It also provided him with a copy of the written reasons for its decision. Tona Thomas for Nationwide News.
Thank you, Tona. Well, that is not surprising for those of us who follow these things closely. Yeah? That was an attempt in futility by Buchanan and his enablers. Yeah? And it didn't take much to realize that. But tired of Una now. Una stressed me out. Who said those words in court yesterday after the break?
My hands were steady.